What up, what up, what up? This your boy Ant, along with the homeboy K-Dub, Karan. We're right back in the man cave. So tonight we want to come on and just chop it up with y'all for a little bit. We want to come on and just chop it up with y'all for a little bit. On a little crazy topic, man. Why is there so much hate and jealousy in the black community? Like, seriously. Where's all of this hatred amongst each other coming from, man? I can't figure this out for nothing. And what honestly, I started paying attention to this week with this thing that I saw on Facebook. Tyler Perry is in the running to purchase BET. And then like 2 or 3 days later, the other guy, Byron something, he decides that he's want to purchase BET as well, which is nothing wrong with that. I congratulate both of these black, strong African American brothers. And it's like now, I look at the comments on both of these guys that's trying to purchase it, and everybody is hating on Tyler Perry. Like, why? I can't figure that out, man. That's another black brother that is literally putting other blacks on. So why is there so much hate for him? Because he's trying to purchase BET. I can't figure that out for nothing, man. Like, seriously, I'm stuck.
Byron Allen is the other guy that was trying to buy BET as well.
Yes, Byron Allen. He's in the running to purchasing BET too. And it's so much hate because Tyler Perry is trying to buy it. Like, I don't understand that, man. What do people got against Tyler Perry? I mean, his content is already on there, so I'm not getting that.
One reason.
And that's so sad. He got the bread.
I mean,
it's crazy.
If you look at the definition, yeah, but you look at what jealousy means, it talks about this situation. People are envious of what he can do. They're envious of the spot that he's in. And the fact of the matter is, the more they see you, the more they hate you. I mean, that's just what this country is built on. Like, as long as you broke and you trying to get the American dream, nobody will bother you. They'll put stuff in your way. When you get to the top, all that is left for you to do is fall out. So at the end of the day, bro, if he gets BET, they probably scared of what he's going to do with it. They probably feel like he's going to be untouchable. Because he's already successful now. Think about it. This is a guy who went from having stage plays to games, and he pretty much said off rip, they never gave him a budget for anything. He always made his money on the back end. He's got his own studio. How many black people can say they got their own studio? He brought a army base that used to be a Confederate army base. He transformed it into a studio. You have to go anywhere to shoot. And he has everything he's right. The mix ultra successful until we get this crap mentality out of our mind. We're always going to be stuck where we are. If you make it, it's not that I can make it, but instead, I have to say that them out here, you're going to be crabs with the girl like, nah, you can't, if I can. So, kudos to those brothers. I hope when you get it, and maybe they'll like to the same program they make. I would love to see some different programming on being. I'm tired of watching. I love Martin, but I don't need to see Martin 8 episodes in a row and pretty much predict.
I think you froze up a little bit, bro. But I totally agree with you 100%, man. What gets me is this though. When I look at other races, they stick together with each other. You know what I'm saying? They network. They come up with the plan. They execute that plan, and they bring everybody along for the ride. When it's us, where is all of this hatred and this jealousy come from? It's my take is this: it's enough resources out here for all of us to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's enough money out here for all of us to eat, man. And when I'm a firm believer because people help me. If I have knowledge of a particular thing that's going on, instead of keeping that information to myself, I'm going to do what I can to help my fellow man come along. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there and hate because you making it and I'm not. That just means that you've tried harder and put in more work than me. But to keep hating on each other, I've never came up with that. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, keep talking.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. I've never understood why our race is so quick to throw each other under the bus. We're so quick to hate on each other. We're so quick to kill each other over a look or over some clothes. You know what I'm saying? Instead of helping each other come up, man. Now, I can truly thank God that my attitude is not how it used to be, because when I see other people hating on me, what are you hating on me for? I mean, what do I have? What is it about me that makes you hate on me the way that you do sometimes? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look at other brothers and sisters, man. We go to the extremes to hate on each other instead of congratulating each other or finding out what it took to get the next man, or what did it take for me to get to where I am now. I've never understood that, bro. Like, seriously, I've never understood that. I can't understand it. And I just feel like, man, we are a lost people because of the fact that instead of, rolling with you and congratulating you and being proud of you because you are trying to make something of yourself. You're trying to bring your people up. But I'm seeing all of these people this week alone because Tyler Perry and Byron Allen are trying to buy BET. First of all, do you understand what BET is? BET stands for Black Entertainment Television. Black Entertainment. So why are you hating because a black man wants to buy it back? Now, I'm not racist at all. I love my white brothers and sisters. I love them just like they love, like I got love for anybody else. But the other races again stick together on every avenue except for us, man. And that's where I have the issue with. We got to do better in our communities, in our neighborhoods, like real talk, bro, because of the fact that there's so many resources out here. There's so many connections out here for us. But instead of taking advantage of it, we will sit up here and hate on the next man because, number one, we haven't arrived, so to speak, while the other man has. And I just cannot get that understanding, that mentality. I'm glad that I came up in a generation to where we know how to support each other. We know how to congratulate each other versus always hating, man. And I can't figure that out for nothing in the world, bro.
Hey, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little delay, but that's cool.
Yeah. The sad part is, bro, like, I came up with that same generation, but you got a lot of people who got that crabs in the barrel mentality. It's nothing we can do about it because we all out. Unfortunately, It's a hard pill to you gotta fathom and understand. Like, what is the fascination of you? I don't get myself.
I don't
As you
either.
see the fail, that sets us back. That sets us
And I'm
back.
gonna
Like you just mentioned about other races. Like it's funny how we we as black folks like right now we want to run out.
Your volume just faded out, bro. Yeah, your volume just faded out. But what it's like we have to ultimately do better as a community. You know what I'm saying? We ultimately have to do better as a community, man. There's so many resources out here for all of us to eat off of. But why do we always get in this mode of like hating on the next man? Number one, another thing that really irks me to death is black people love counting what's in the next man's pocket. I learned this mentality or this saying back in the day on the job. My check pays my bills. Your check pays yours. So why are you worried about what I do with my bread? And that irks me every time I see somebody counting the next man's dollars. Like, I can't figure that out, bro. Like, seriously. I cannot figure that out for nothing in the world. I don't understand that logic. You know what I'm saying? I really cannot understand that logic as to why the next man is always counting how much money is in somebody else's pocket. If another reason why the black communities are struggling the way that they are is because there is a lack of support with each other. You know, if we're not with you or we're not in your crew, then it's like we get no love, we get no support. And you can use that same statement everywhere you go. You can use it on your job, you can use it in the church, you can use it in the street. You know what I'm saying? If we're not rocking, you know, together, we're not on the same boat, so to speak, then the next man feels like he don't have to support you. But the only way that the African American community is going to survive is if we learn to support each other. The same way the other races are supporting each other. And they are striving, they are surviving together because they know how to love on each other. They know how to support each other. They know how to bring each other up for the ride, man. And until we get to that particular level in our thinking, once our mentality shifts, that's when the African American community, in my opinion, will be able to compete with the other communities, man.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I had to switch off a little bit and go to a different platform real quick. So you can hear me without no problem, no pause, no nothing, right?
No pause, no nothing, bro. You good.
All right, so sorry for the technical difficulties, people, but let's get back into it, what you just said. First and foremost, it is a generational thing. You have to go back to slavery where all this shit started. And the distrust was put together because if you do some research, you realize that a lot of us come from different tribes in Africa. Now, I'm not talking about the people who've already been here. There's a lot of theories about Moors and everything. I'm not going to get into that. But you have to remember that a lot of us come from different tribes. And the reason why they did that is because they didn't want us being able to communicate with each other so that we can leave off the plantation. They also did little things to keep us in line. Those tactics and those little things still affect us to this day. Remember, back in the day, it used to be a community. My mom used to always tell me, you know, you get your ass whooped 3 or 4 times before you even get to the house.
True.
Until people all of a sudden said, no, that's my child. And we start having these different... Once things started getting taken away, we just started to say, well, you know what? It's all for self. I got to look out for self because no one's going to look out for me. Well, back then, we did look out for each other. But jealousy and envy are two things that can get you killed out here. Just because someone likes what you have, and because they can't get it, instead of them just doing what you did to get it, they ready to just take it from you. That's the easy way to get what they want. And to get back to what you said about Tyler Perry and Brian, both those guys are pretty much billionaires. They work their ass off to get what they got. Now that should be inspirational in its own way, but instead we always look for the negative. I mean, including myself. Like, you always wonder, like, man, you know, how hard is he really working? You know, I could have probably did that myself, but then you got to stop yourself. I think everyone does it. It's just to the degree in which you do it. My thing is, and I always will say this, I will never hate on another man that's doing something positive for the community. I will never hate on another brother that's trying to make a difference, because I'm in the same mud too. I don't want anyone to hold me up or slow me up. So like you said, you also mentioned about the paycheck thing. Look, you're totally correct. What I make at work is for me. Why are you counting my chips? It's the same issue we got going on currently at work. I'm not going to expound on that, but you got cats that, you know, maybe they want the money and they feel like how that person is getting it isn't fair. And instead of just trying to create their own opportunity, it's easy just to take it from someone else. And that's all it really is, bro. And honestly, it's layers to it. But tonight, we just going to have a candid conversation about, yo, you got some people who have the go-get-it mentality who going to do what they got to do to be successful. You got some people, it's just easy to take it from somebody who's already got it together. You've seen that a lot, you know, in a lot of situations. I hate to bring up this reference, but it's almost like the dope game. You know, you seen cats build up the network. They got everything put together. They got this area pumping. You remember that season on The Wire when Bodie had built up that strip?
Season 4.
And next thing you know, who comes up and wants to take over his territory?
Marlo.
And so it's no different than, and the thing is, that wasn't even about jealousy per se. It was just him hating on Bodie because what he did to him before. And he just was out trying to get all he could get. He knew there was no Barksdale. He knew dude was out here as an independent, getting a little package from Joe. He knew Joe wasn't going to say nothing. You know, Joe wasn't going to do nothing.
And that's so crazy, bro, that we have to think like that. You know what I'm saying? That it's so much hate and jealousy in our communities alone, man, to where I remember growing up back in the day on the block, man, we treated everybody, or we treated each other like brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we was out there in the street all day, every day, hanging with each other, riding bikes, building clubhouses, lemonade stands. That's how I came up back in the day in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's how I came up. You know, we had in my community, I had Moonhead Kevin. Moonhead, you know, took us all under his wing and basically showed us how to hustle. When school got out in June, man, Moonhead had us building a lemonade stand right there on the corner of Cooper and Lenoir. And every day we was out there grinding, selling chips, candy, pop, juices. I mean, we was riding our bikes, going to get this stuff, coming back, making $1. And all of us would learn how to share it amongst the family, because that's how we were. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that type of support and mentorship in the black neighborhoods anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now, if each neighborhood still had people that really cared about the next person, trust me, these neighborhoods would not look like they look. But a lot of people, man, that's coming up now, this generation have no idea of the hard work that came long before us. See, long before us, bro, you didn't hear all this hatred amongst blacks towards other blacks. You hating on somebody else because they making it and you not. To me, that's a punk, bro. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up, and you know me, Karan, I'm always gonna speak. I'm gonna be 100 on everything that I say, man. That's a punk mentality right there. I'm hating on you because you making it and I'm choosing to sit down on my behind every day? No. How I was raised by my grandparents, number one, I watched my grandfather get up to go to work every single day until the day he died. You know what I'm saying? Any knowledge that my grandfather had, he never had a problem sharing it with somebody else. Now, my grandfather never graduated high school, which you couldn't tell, because he had some teaching somewhere. My grandfather never used his alarm clock to wake up. You know what I'm saying? He was never late for work. He instilled that in me. When I need to get up to take care of business, I can't sit around and wait for somebody else to do it for me. I have to get up and go do it. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather taught me years ago at the age of 13, if I'm supposed to be at work at 3, that's late. Get there at 2:30. And I said, why am I going in early? He said there's 2 reasons. Number one, you might get asked to start early, which means you're making a little bit more money. And 2, you never know what's out there that may cause you to be late. So if you get to work when your shift starts, technically you're late in the mindset.
Of course.
So every job that I take on, whether it's my 9-to-5 job or the job that I do on Sundays with other churches, if their Sunday service starts at 9:30, Anthony's walking in the building at 8:30. Because I have a thing of I'm never going to be late for anything. You see guys right now, man, that get to work, don't even want to work. You know what I'm saying?
Just experienced that yesterday, bro.
Yeah, and then you get mad at the next man who's getting overtime. That I have a problem with that, because we're the only people that gets mad at somebody else for going to work on time.
No, we not. We just do it differently than anybody else. See, the thing is, other races do it differently. We're all human. We all have that human element of, especially as a man. I can only speak from a man perspective. I can't speak from a woman perspective. But we all have that mentality of competitiveness and all the other stuff. But then, at the same time, just like you just hit it on the head about being early. Like, when I first started, there's a lot of cats that mentored me in the plant in good ways and bad ways. Yeah. So I think the start of getting ready some of this hate is that some of us, even though we not OGs as far as what you want to say, but we are the OGs. We've lived long enough. You get to 40, bro. You see, like I couldn't understand why my cousin kept saying, well, I gotta be different now. I'm 40. I gotta do this differently now. I'm 40. I'm like, what are you talking about? You still alive? What the fuck is you talking about? You got to all of a sudden change because you're 40? No, you don't change all of a sudden because you're 40. You do things differently when you turn 40. Yes. That's what he was trying to relate to me over. And the thing is that some of these cats, these younger cats, are not as perceptive as we would like them to be, because some of it they were given. And I understand that, because you just talked about the hustler mentality. My parents didn't let me hustle. My mom ever caught me outside doing what y'all doing, she probably whooped my ass. Because that's the type of control she was, but at the same time, she wanted me to be my own man. Yep. So there was things set up like, yo, you're smart, do this. You're smart, do that. There was, like you said about the dude in the neighborhood, there was a cat in my neighborhood, I'm not going to say his name, but he always would say, yo, books, you shouldn't be doing that. Yep. Go to school. Yo, your bus here, get on the bus. And like I said, I only seen that dude up till I was like, I only seen him for like maybe 8 months. Mm-hmm. But he's always had been around, but he ain't never really said nothing to me. But I knew what he was doing. He was always a hustler. Yeah. He would say, hey, like I said, I was going, my first year at Remus Robinson, he was like, yo, y'all bus here. Get on the bus.
You know, when I look back, man.
You had cats that looked out for people back then. They would do little things. Or I remember I was going over my uncle's house, and this was in 1999, bro. I was catching the bus, Harper bus. This dude looked at me and said, hey, man, how are you? I said, I'm good. I'm going, He said, hey, you got a girlfriend? I said, yeah. He said, hold on 1 second. He went into his apartment right there. There used to be some apartment buildings right there on Harper. He gave me a whole pack of condoms. He said, young man, I see you looking fresh. I see you about your business. You need to, I'm just only trying to, you don't want no kids until it's time for you to have kids. That always stuck with me. Of course, I never use those rubbers, but they always stuck with me because this guy don't know me from shit from an asshole, and he wanted to look out for me. I'm like, all right, bro, I appreciate it. It always gonna stick with me. But the thing is, but my point I want to make is we sometimes have to take upon ourselves to be mentors.
Yes.
A good friend of ours, Tony Frails, I call him my pop because he's always had something wise to say. He reminds me so much of my grandfather. He feels like in some respects he should mentor certain people. And I be looking like, why are you gonna mentor him? He only look like he got it all together. And then one day I see another cat that needs a little guidance, and I took it decided upon myself. So you know what? I've been working here for like 25 years. I'm gonna help. I take this cat home. I'm not looking for no praise or nothing. I'm just telling you what I'm doing for this cat and what he's doing for me. He's giving me the ability to give back my knowledge of being in a workplace like this. He's worked before, and he's in his late 20s. He's not a super young cat, but I be trying to school him and tell him like, hey, bro, you can't listen to what everybody's saying here. Some people in here don't have it all. They'll say things to set you up, but the end of the goal is for you to get hired in. You're a temp. You need some insurance. You got a kid. So if not for you, for your child, at least for your child, so your child could grow up, maybe go to school, whatever. But people's mentality, sometimes it has to switch. You can't just always think about yourself, especially if you have children. But it is our responsibility to sometimes find those kids that are betweeners that could possibly go left, and we want them to go right. It is our responsibility. I feel like sometimes we need to just take some time and say, hey, man, come here for a second. Let me show you something. Because there's no threat to what you do. It's going to make me better. If you give me competition, it's going to make me better. Right. But see, some people don't want to compete. Some people just want to take out the competition or have you join their team and just keep you where you are, a la LeBron James. So I don't want to hear that go talk. I don't want to hear that go talk about LeBron. LeBron joined up and built I love LeBron. This is not hate. This is not jealousy or nothing. I love LeBron. But y'all know what he did. He joined up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Not to sidetrack everything, but when you take two guys who were franchise players for other teams and all y'all come together on one team, you level the playing field. You level the playing field, period.
I'm going to tell you though, man, it's like with me, my mentors were always, of course, both of my brothers, David and Uriel.
Of course.
And my church.
Of course.
I had, if it was people like me coming up in my church, I had people like Bill Porter, of course, my grandfather, Clee Sims, Larry Wynn, Howard Turner, Charles Needham. I mean, these were the guys that I say were the workhorses back then. Now, I'm just a kid when I started being around these guys. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can say what they want to about the black church, but one thing I will say about my church, Mount Zion, is we had men that actually cared. My pastor, S.L. Jones, my former interim pastor, Charles Middleton, these were guys that did not care who you were. They still took you under their wing and showed you how a man is supposed to be, how a man is supposed to act. Now, I'm not going to say that we didn't make mistakes along the way, but what I will say is these strong black brothers took us under their wing and taught us how to survive, how to be men. You know what I'm saying? And many of these guys are dead and gone now. But me being me and how I came up, I always reflect back on the people that helped me come up. You know, none of us got to where we are by ourselves. It was always a helping hand reaching down to pick us up. You know what I'm saying? Versus shunning us away. One of the main issues that I have in the black church today is there's a lack of love there like it used to be. There's a lack of unity there. Now, it bothers me when I see black churches in the black community not doing for those communities. But I don't pigeonhole and put them all in the same boat like some people do. Because some churches in these black communities actually care.
That's true.
And just because the church is there, it's not always about money. I can care less how much money a person pays in church, but what are you doing to better your brothers and your sisters that's actually sitting on that back pew watching you? That's a problem that I have with anything in the African American community. We love putting ourselves out front, but you don't realize it's people that's sitting behind you that's watching. The night, and it didn't dawn on me until I got older. The night that my pastor, man, was one of the best influences on me outside of my family. And my pastor is dead and gone now. But I will always pay homage to Sterling Jones because that was my go-to. That was my spiritual guide to how I am now. Now, my pastor was stern, but he was fair. And he treated everybody the same, whether he knew you or he didn't know you. My pastor used to sit us down in our youth Bible classes and used to teach us, you know, as a black man coming up, you already got a target on your back. He said he used to always tell me, Skeet, Tony, all of us coming up along the way, man, do something that somebody else is not doing.
Yeah.
Once you reach your plateau, reach back and pull your brother forward. When you see your brother falling down, pick them up. Don't step on them. And that you know, and when you look at, my pastor came up in the 50s, the 60s. You know what I'm saying? He came up when there was some real hard times going on out here.
Of course.
And now you got people that have made it and feel like they are not supposed to reach back and pull you forward.
Some of them,
bro, feel like I done arrived. So it's instead of turning it into the let me turn back and help Quran get up. It's about God. I'm gonna leave Quran where he at. I gotta get this. It's me. No.
But to be honest with you, some of that is a little bit of a like with that, it could be a double-edged sword. Like if I come back and help you, like, are you gonna become a threat to me?
Right.
And that's the wrong way to think. Some of them think like that. And you got some people, they don't want to waste their time. They don't want to come back and waste their time and say, well, I tried. Yeah. I tried to come back and it don't matter what I do, it's never going to be good enough. Just like they were talking about on the Breakfast Club one day about how it don't matter if you come back and have let's say you go off hypothetically, right? Your media situation takes off and you're the, let's just say you become the Dr. Dre of the gospel circuit. Like your media company takes off, you're putting systems and showing people how easy it can do. You just make enough money, that you are now going to be financially well off.
Yeah.
And you decide to come back and do something in your community, like, yo, I want to give out turkeys at Mount Zion, or I want to, like you doing the trunk or treat thing. You want to do something to uplift people.
Right.
There are going to be people in the community that love what you're doing. Then there's going to be cats that say, this ain't shit, man. What's that used to do? It's always going to be somebody who's going to find an issue. And you know what? God has always said those people are always going to be here.
You know what? I'm glad you just said that. Because honestly, bro, I got into this live streaming game when COVID first popped up back in 2020. I didn't. All that you see on the screen right now, I knew nothing about this. You know what I'm saying? I always wondered, how did people get the graphics on there and all this stuff. I was determined to be the best at what I was doing. Now, did I have opposition? Hell yeah. I had people that was hating on me left and right, but couldn't turn on a computer switch.
But you know why, right?
Because they couldn't do what the Lord had placed on me to do. And see,
not just that, bro. Not just that. They know that every time you put forth an effort into anything, it ain't about this. Anytime you put forth an effort into anything, it seems like it's effortless for you.
You know what? And I really thank God for that, bro. I swear to God, on everything I love. You know, I make mistakes every single day, but I try to learn from my mistakes. But one thing that a person can never say about Anthony is a quitter. I have that mentality of being a quitter is never in my vocabulary. I put more challenges on myself to be the best at what I do, more than what a next person can ever put on me. You know, I challenge myself when anything that I do, whether it's at on my job, at my church, or at any other church that I'm working with. I'm setting out to set a standard, and that standard is excellence. So anything that I do, I'm putting 110% into it. And
I can vouch for you with that, bro. Because like I said, not to cut you off, but at the end of the day, half the time people are not scared of what you're gonna do; they're scared of your ambition.
Yes, you know, bro. I watch my mama.
That
man.
Ambition, bro.
I tell anybody
like
that.
They are scared you gonna take this, and it's like, well, what? Like that man said on the song, what the fuck am I gonna do now? He didn't just toe the game up. He didn't push it to a point where they're scared to even want to compete. At the end of the day, you got to be you. If you a hating ass snake, you just a hating ass snake. I mean, when I go to bed at night, I wasn't a praying guy. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I started praying even more after my mom passed, because I needed some solace, and I was shaking.
You needed some
in more
understanding
ways than ever. And when I prayed, that night when me and my brother came back home, bro, we prayed. He prayed. He said something. It brought a calm to my spirit, and I just left it at that. So when cats was saying, "Oh man, he different. He might be gay because he don't do what we do." No, I'm being me. When I last checked, when it was a crime to be yourself. I don't have to do what everybody else do.
Man, I used to get called a church boy because I went to church almost every day. And
that's why we call you deacon.
Yeah, and it's like, I know it's funny. Man, listen, I take pride in it because the church is what kept me.
There's nothing wrong with that. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part, bro. Like, it's the difference between jokes. Well, as we talking on here, like I said before, people are scared of if you have ambition. They're scared that you have the drive, and you potentially could be very successful. Successful. Like I have
opposition on everything that I do, bro. Whether it's with my catering, I had so much opposition on that. I have opposition on, and I'm gonna be totally honest, bro. I actually welcome it. Because I tell people, don't doubt me. Because when I'm doubted, I'm about to make a pure ass out of you now. Because now you don't put a challenge on me that I know I'm about to beat. My challenge is I'm about to be the best at what you said I couldn't do. And when I become the best at it, I'm about to reach back and grab my little brothers and teach them the game so they can shine. I'm never the type of person in anything that I do that don't, excel and then don't want to teach somebody behind me how to get ahead. I'm telling you, when I bought my house, man, there were some people that was happy, and there were some people that wasn't. My thing is knowing that I have opposition, mainly from my own people that I thought were cool with me and thought that were friends with me. I'm about to beat every single obstacle that you said I couldn't do.
That's
true. I bought this house 3 years ago.
Okay.
And been living in it It'll be been living in this house since 2021. I beat the odds of myself because I put more of a challenge on my back than anybody could ever do. Because I want to see the best come out of everything that I touch. In my community, like I said, man, I had my mentors back in the day, like I said, was Moonhead Kevin. Kev wanted to see us win. He wanted to see us make it and get out the hood. You got so many people that's so complacent, man, that they've been in situations so long, they don't know how to fly above that line that's there. They don't know how to they don't know. It's like that, like you said, I'm gonna use this analogy is, you know how you got that glass jar with the lid?
Yeah.
They've been stuck in a glass jar with a lid on so high. Every time you jump up to get out the jar, you keep hitting your head on that lid. But the day that lid is removed, you get scared because you don't know if you're going to hit your head or not. But why keep using that mentality? You won't know what you can do unless you try.
That's true.
And that's the issue in the black community. That's the issue in the black churches. That's the issue in black politics. We have the potential to climb it out of that barrel, out that jar. The lid has been removed, but we're too damn scared to try to move ahead, man. And I don't want to see that forever with anything that I'm around.
But you know what I heard? You know what I heard I'm probably as a teenager, probably early 20s. Why do we have to go through so much to be, everybody else gossip? Because that's just the way it is.
The reason why we go through so much is because, and I'm gonna go biblical with this. I'm gonna put my religion on it. The reason why we have to go through so much is because there's something greater that God wants to give to us. But he knows if he just hands it to us, we won't know what to do with it.
That's true.
But if he holds out some things and teaches us along the way how to get those things, then and only then will we understand the value of the lesson that he tried to give. Now, I used to sit back and wonder, like, damn, why do I gotta go? Prime example, bro. When I had my stroke, man, that was the most challenging experience I ever went through at that time in my life, other than losing my mother. And I will never, ever forget praying, Lord, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to die. You know, I would sit on the side of my bed night after night, crying myself to sleep. But there was, after 2 weeks of me being home from the hospital, and I'm sitting on the side of the bed, tears rolling. It's to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. The Lord spoke to me and told me to get out that chair and lay down. And when I did, he started telling me, he said, first of all, I didn't say that you were going to die from your sickness. He said, but what I did say is you got to go through your sickness so somebody else can see the power that I have.
That's true.
And I'm laying there and I'm listening to him. And he said, this sickness is not going to make you or break you, but your faith is what people are looking at right now. Do you have the faith that I'm going to heal you? Or where is your faith? Or are you going to keep doubting? From that particular night back in 2009, I don't doubt nothing that God takes me through. Because I know there's a greater blessing on the other side of the struggles that we have to go through. But we are more challenged because many of us can't handle the blessing of God just hands it to us.
No, because we want to have control, and that's what it boils down to. It's always been about control. Yes. And to get biblical with that situation, everything you go through is not really just for you. It's really a lesson for someone else. Yes. I told somebody else that the other day. I'm not going to mention their name. They're going through a little bit of something right now. They're hopefully it'll be over soon. But the thing, I've always extended my hand to this, and I've always kept my faith to this. Your relationship with God is your relationship. Whether you haven't talked to him in 20 years or 2 minutes, that's your relationship. And like he said, I'm always there. It's just you who chose not to speak to me, but I'm
Yeah.
always going to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when people stop believing in what they can see in front of them, like the horse with the blinders on, there's a reason why that horses have blinders on. I remember my good friend took me to the track, and he pointed out something to me. He said, "You know those horses got blinders on." And I said, "Well, why they have blinders on?" Because if they can't, if they don't have the blinders on, they'll be looking at the other horse. They'll be looking everywhere. Where if they put the blinders on, they only can see what's in front of them.
Yes.
They don't know what's to the left. They don't know what's to the right. That's what's going on in our community. We somehow, some way, we've allowed things to put blinders on. Whether it be you addicted to drugs, whether you're addicted to women, maybe you're addicted to success and you don't want no one else to have it. Maybe you got the Scrooge McDuck mentality where you don't mind sharing it, but you don't share it on your terms. Like
Right.
Scrooge McDuck's a cool guy, but a cool duck, but he has his selfish moments. And he has to be reminded by his nephews about the virtues of everything else. But the main thing is, whether you're successful today, tomorrow, or in the future, you are people watch, like you said, people watch you all day, every day, and they want to see whether or not you are who you say you are. And if you are who you say you are, then you're a threat to them potentially. If they have low self-esteem, and like you said earlier, I think that's a punk thing. Look, I don't think there's nothing wrong to a small degree to be a little envious of someone, but not to the point where you're thinking about, man, let me just go ahead and mess him up real quick.
Right.
Or, man, why you got so much of that, man? You know, you only got one pair of feet. You only got 2 feet. You don't need all of those. And back in my day, we only had. I said, look, man, that was your day when shoes cost $9, and I'm cool with that. That's great. You know, I've heard. I mean, I've heard the hate. I don't know who it was, but I heard the hate. And it's like, yo, man, why hate? Why hate on me? I don't hate on you. I can
You know
hate
what
on all
though?
of them.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I strive when a person, like I said, when a person doubts me. It used to bother me when people would talk about me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm at the age now to where, dude, I care less because my blessings don't come from you no way. My blessings come from the good Lord in heaven. I'm telling you, man, everything, and if people could call this a flex or whatever. So I'm a flex and give God his just due. Everything that I've asked the Lord for, but since July 31st, 2021, the Lord has given it to me. Why? Because I did the simplest things that the Lord asked me to do, and that was to remain faithful. You know what I'm saying? When my pastor passed away, you know, all of us was hurt. You know, really all of us at Mount Zion and people that knew of Mount Zion were extremely hurt. And it still bothers many of us today, even though we know that, you know, we're not going to be here forever. But when you lose someone that is and has been such an inspiration to you, you know, a part of that, it really hurts you. You know what I'm saying? I remember praying and asking the Lord, now that Reb is gone, what do you want me to do next? Because I'm like, dude, I don't want to stay around here like that, you know, without him being here. The Lord just said, remain faithful. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. When I tell you there was so much opposition, you know, I faced so many oppositions during the 2018, 19, 20, 21. Those were some challenging times for me personally at my church. Personally,
because of the transition, right? It was
because of the transition from him, from my pastor, to whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call the nigga. Just flat out. My thing was, I know the standard. You know what I'm saying? And I try to stay in my lane. I do what I'm asked. But when a person, you know, a wise man once told me, he said, son, don't grow up to be no fool. He said, because an old fool used to be a young fool. And as I got older, I'm like, that makes a whole lot of sense. there's a whole lot of old fools walking around.
A lot of young fools with them.
And exactly, there's a whole lot of young ones
and
too.
They mentoring the old fool, mentoring the young fool.
Yes, so it's like it's no balance, bro. There's no, in today's, in the black neighborhoods, man, we don't hold each other accountable for anything. You can be the loudest voice in the room, but it don't necessarily make you right.
It
You know what I'm
doesn't,
saying?
but you know what? My neighbor down the street, I had to give him props and kudos because he believed in, like I said, he helped the brother out. He cut my grass. He wanted everybody lawn to look good when you come around that corner.
Mm-hmm.
He took pride in where he lived, and
Right.
that's all it really is. It's not even about you holding somebody else accountable. It's like, yo, keep your shit clean, keep your house looking decent.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to ask questions. There's nothing. Here's the thing: when do we stop asking questions? And then if someone's giving you resistance, you go somewhere else. I understand everybody don't want everybody in their business. That's fine. But we have the biggest tool in the world, which is the internet, and people don't use it to the best of their ability. They use it for foolishness. They use it for bullshit. You need information, go straight to it. Don't say, "Oh, this hating ass." Yeah, he hating because he don't want to tell you. That's fine. But the information's already right there. Well, the information's right there, bro. All you gotta do is look it up. Now, he's making it harder for you because he probably feels like, A, you're not really serious, or
Mm-hmm.
B, if he finds out that you really are serious, he has to gear up and be prepared to take you on because he knows. And I'm just speaking in general terms. This example can be translated to anything. People say, no, it can't. Yes, it can. I've seen too many examples of people basically hating on someone else because they pull up in a parking lot with a brand new car. Like, why are you hating? I remember a cat, I'm not even gonna say his name, but his initials is JH. I remember I told him, you know what, I'm gonna go get me a Cadillac. He said, Karan, don't do that. I said, why not? Because if you do that, now everybody, you're gonna make everybody else's car look like a piece of shit. I'm like, bro, that's not my fault.
We got a comment that's on my Facebook page from Chris Churchboy Brown. He said they used to call him a church boy, talking about what he used to do. Now he's into church, and he simply told them that God changed him. God can change anybody that wants to be changed.
Amen.
And you know what I'm saying? God can take a hoe off the street and make her into a saint, if that's what he feels like he wants to do.
Look, man.
God can do anything he wants to.
You know the story. You know the story about Saul on the road to Damascus.
Come on with it.
God knocked him off that horse, and he made him change. He went from Saul to Paul.
And I'm gonna share this too. The reason why so many people are struggling and why so many communities are struggling, because they have removed God out of the center of it all. It's right there in the Bible. God simply gave some instructions on obtaining his ultimate blessings, man. And basically, what the Word of God says, and I quote, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and heal the land. God gave us some simple instructions in that one passage of scripture.
Of course.
Basically, if you stop doing, and I'm trying not to be too candid, but if you stop doing that unnecessary junk that you're doing, you can be blessed above anything. If you stop hating on each other,
you basically saying stop doing that bitch assness and get with the program. That's what he's saying. For those who don't understand what he just said, stop with the bitch assness. Stop trying to be a nickel slick type. You know who you are, and just have faith. Faith without works.
You gotta humble yourself, dude. Listen,
exactly.
I would rather, and I'm gonna tell you one of the greatest teachers I ever had growing up in church, and that was Deacon George Yarbrough. When I became when I really started working in the church with the men, Deacon Yarbrough used to have me teaching his Sunday school class, which was the deacon's class, every second Sunday.
Okay.
Every second Sunday. My grandfather would sit me down on Saturday nights with the standard lesson commentary. And he and I will go through that lesson so he can understand it and so I can be prepared. Because he said, you will not get up in front of that class and embarrass yourself. Deacon Yarbrough, exactly. Deacon Yarbrough, God rest his soul, man, was one of the kindest, gentle giants that my church has ever had. But that man used to tell us all the time, you better learn to humble yourself before God humbles you. And I used to wonder, what did that mean?
And
I'm going to tell you exactly what it means. God don't like people with too much pride, that likes to boast and brag about degrees and what they got and all this type of thing. Because the same way that God blessed you with that stuff, he'll easily take it from you.
Take it away from you, exactly.
Now, for God to humble you, look at what we're living in right now. People forgot to humble themselves and really give God his glory for what we came from to where we are now. That's why so many people are struggling. Because God is starting to humble some folk. And another aspect in the church is you don't want God to punish you. You don't want God to clean house. Now, some people might say, well, what you mean? God ain't gonna clean house using no broom or no dustpan. God had to kill some folk to get his message across. All of y'all hard-headed niggas that think God ain't real, keep testing him. He had to kill some people, which means he don't have a problem removing you out the way and putting somebody else in place who's going to do what he needs done.
Or if he ain't killing them, he's putting them in very unique situations where they have to be removed from you. Like, for instance, that dude that you ran with for the longest, all of a sudden he gets pinched. Or dude has to make a choice between his family or you. Like, mysterious reasons, people will just drop out of your life, whether it be death, whether it be job situations. Hey, dude, God says, you know what? He's toxic. Let me just take him away from you. Or, you know what? This woman ain't right for you. Let me take her away from you because she's not good.
She's not the right.
She's not whatever.
I really keep this particular scenario to myself a lot of times because it was really hurting. Because at this particular time, this was going into 2020. I'll never forget, bro. On New Year's Day, the Lord, man, came to me in my sleep one night. On this particular night, never forget it. And he said, Anthony, I want you to listen to me. This is exactly how he presented himself to me. He said, a lot of people are not going to be for you because they don't want to see the potential that's in you. He said, all I want you to do is to realize who's really for you and who's against you. And he started showing me people's faces who was really for me. Bro, I had literally just quit a job at that particular time. And I was getting ready to go into another one. So I began working for this apartment complex. And it was for a person who I thought was a friend.
Of course.
But this is so funny, man. This is really funny because God came to me like 2 weeks into working there and said, watch the company you keep. And I'm like, dang, what you talking about? I go to work and go home. And he kept saying, watch the company you keep. What he was warning me was the young lady that I was working for really wasn't for me at all. Meaning she really wasn't a friend. Because that young lady treated me like I was a bum on the street, bro. And it got to the point to where the day that I walked away from that job, I mean, she called me every name in the book. And I stood there and I have this nerve condition called Bell's palsy. And when I get too stressed, that Bell's palsy starts to flare up where the left side of my face, the nerves starts to
You
really
just
get
start
agitated.
up. Yeah, I got
Yes,
you. I got
and
you.
I get I started, shaking in there, man, and I just told her, I said, look, I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? And she called me out my name again, and I threw the broom and dustpan in this lady's face.
Mm.
When I left that job, I was driving home, tears in my eyes. I said, you know what, Lord, I know you didn't put me in this position, to leave me by myself. I said, if you could just bless me with a better job, that's all I want. I just want to be able to make sure that my bills are paid. But if you could just bless me with something better, that's all I'm asking for. My living situation at the time was not the best. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It wasn't the best. But the day that my rent was due, 2 days before the rent was due, something that said, check your unemployment. So when I checked unemployment, it was the exact dollar amount that I needed to pay rent with. So I wasn't late. So from the time that I quit that job up until October, the Lord had everything that I ever wanted paid for. I was never late with a bill. And mind you, I was off work. But because of my faith in Him and really believing that God was going to bless me above any and everything that I could ever think for or ask Him for. Everything that I asked God for in 2020, He gave me that plus some. My house had that flood. I said, Lord, I just, want to get enough to where I can take care of my house and do some other things. Almost 90 days from that particular prayer, the Lord blessed me with more than what I asked Him for. People have to understand we're in situations because sometimes we put ourselves in these situations. When you got genuine people that love you and care for you, don't spit on them. You don't know if you spitting on God Himself. You see
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
You don't know who God has placed in your life to help you change and to help you do better, man. We as a people, whether it's in the church or outside the church, we all have something that we're not happy about.
Of course.
Quit pointing out my sin before the Lord exposes all the sins that you did in your past and what you did today. Because all sins are the same in the Lord's book, man. So just because I made mistakes as a teenager, quit bringing that junk up. Because you still sinning and you probably in your 60s and 70s and still ain't asked God to forgive you for what you did wrong.
When people bring up that, you be like, yeah, but I've grown since then. How about you? We all have a habit of bringing up someone's past. But here's the funny thing about it. What have you learned? Like, I'm gonna go to a DMX song at the end of the second CD, when he's playing a prayer. He has a song talking about God, and God is him and God having this conversation. Said, "What have you learned?" And he says it back. He said, "What have you learned?" He keeps saying it over and over. What have you learned? He keeps saying it over and over, like different. Every time he asks, "What have you learned?" It's a different response. So in the end, bro, I'm gonna say it like this. There's really no reason to be judged of anyone.
It really is not. It's not. It's sad.
It's no reason to be judged of anyone unless you are jealous because you cannot get what you want to accomplish. And you want company. Look, loneliness, everything negative has to have company. Like, Mystery loves company. Yeah. We know that for a fact. Mystery loves company. And to recap what you said about someone bringing up your past, I was told as a teenager, hey, don't throw rocks in a glass house.
Yep.
You should never throw rocks in a glass house. And I was like, what does that mean? That means the same way you talking about somebody else's past, someone could do the same thing to you. Like, we all live in glass houses.
Dude, the same way that people bring up your past. You don't think God gonna bring that up when He open up that book? And that's what people don't understand, man. My brother, years ago, my brother Uriel had asked me the question. He said, "Do you think God ever get tired of us asking for forgiveness for the same thing?" I said, that was for me, that was a real easy response. I said, yeah, he gets tired. I said, just like Granny and Granddaddy would get tired of us making the same mistake. I said, God gets tired of us making the same mistake and coming to him asking for forgiveness on the same thing he just forgave us for. Just like any parent, you get tired of forgiving your child making the same dumb decisions over and over. At some point, you're gonna try to reach out and God gonna move back and let you fall flat on your face. Sometimes you need to I'm gonna say it like this. Sometimes you need to come to Jesus meeting, where just you and Jesus in a room. And remember in the movie, oh my God, Tales from the Hood.
Yeah.
My old boy was was locked in that room, and everybody he killed started appearing. That's what God needs to do to some people, to have they come to Jesus meeting with you and reveal some things that you did, so you can understand your problems that the Lord forgave you for. Stop hiding that stuff and then pointing the finger at everybody else's wrongdoing. Because the Lord is eventually going to have to sit you down and humble you. And that's what some people don't want.
You know what? In some respects, he doesn't have to do that. The way we thinking, because I always felt like it'd be nice to see somebody get their get back.
Yeah.
And I said, no, you shouldn't want to see somebody get their get back, because you're going to get their get back because you want them to fall. What you should do is you should pray for them. Like, hey, you know what, man? I know you a piece of, not you, but in some respects, I've had to say, I know you a piece of this work of shit, but you know what, God, look out for him. Help him change his heart. Yeah. Help him see the error of his ways. Give me the clarity to understand why people like him get to walk the earth, where the nicest person on earth has to come and join you. Mm-hmm. Please give me the sense to understand why. Please give me the clarity and understand why. And when I wake up in the morning, I said, okay, Lord, I understand the big picture. I understand why you allow certain things to happen. I also understand why we have to have a yin and yang type situation. You can't have someone be too successful without somebody hating on them. It has to be some type of balance. Because if you wouldn't know the difference between someone who's being very successful and someone who's just bad at whatever they do. Mm-hmm. We all know that one person, no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they just can't never get a break. But the one thing that they have that a lot of these hating ass people don't have is they have perseverance. Yeah. One day it's going to work. Whether it took him 100 times to get one of his things off, it's going to be that one time he's successful. And that same person who said, oh, you can never do it, now he wants, hey, man, what's going on? You're my buddy. You're my pal. Like, yeah, I was your buddy and your pal. But when, you talk behind my back, too.
You know what, though? Now that you just said that, dude, I will never forget one of the conversations I had with my pastor. Pastor Jones, me and him, this was when he was out in the nursing home. He was sitting up in his chair, and I was sitting with him. He said it's easy for people to blame you when things are going bad. And he was talking about church leadership. He said, but when things are going good, everybody want to be with you.
They do.
He says, so life is full of ups and downs, whether you're doing good one day or whether you're doing bad one day.
That's true.
Man,
that's like the scenario where people talk about, some people just riding in the car with you.
Yeah.
They not there to benefit you. They're there to, I remember a person I was dating, her child had got a car, and he had some friends that, they would all hang around him because he got a car. Mm-hmm. Then when his car got, accident or whatever, these same people that was riding with you, they know where to be found.
Yeah.
They not checking on you. They're not saying, hey, dog, how you feel, man? They're not doing none of that. So you got some people who, they'll call you, hey, bro, how you doing, man? What's going on with you? You good? Man, I seen what happened. I heard what happened, man. You good? And you got some people be like, man, that's fucked up what happened. But they don't even check on you. So you had some people that was just riding in the car. They were just riding in the car.
Yeah.
That's all they was doing. They was just riding. They just took advantage of it. But that's all. I put that in the same category as hating. Same category as jealousy. Like, yo, you only here because I provide something for you, and the minute I can't provide it no more, you're gone.
Yep.
But it's
they wasn't your friend to begin with, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm currently working with another church on their media team now, and these people don't know me from a nigga in the street. But when I tell you, they are some of the nicest people, and they're older members. You know, they're older individuals. They hired me to build the system for them, and they reached out and asked me if I could come and show them how to use it. And of course, I don't have an issue with showing nobody anything. The Lord blessed me with being able to do this. So it's my duty to reach back and show somebody else how to do things. And after my first Sunday there, they asked me if I would stay on the team with them, which I felt honored to do so. My blessings come when I'm able to do for others. You know what I'm saying? All I ask in return is just a little thank you. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to bless you for what you help your brothers and sisters with. If you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it to have your name across the marquee or your name to be on the program, God ain't looking at none of that. You know what I'm saying? You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
My blessings, I really feel at this particular point in my Christian walk is since COVID, my main thing is being able to help other churches get their message across by being able to build their streaming system for them so it can be up to par. And I'm telling you, man, being able to work with different churches and build new friendships and relationships, that's the ultimate blessing right there, man. Being able to see other people succeed and seeing other people advance. You know what I'm saying? And when our community learn that it's not all about you, we got to start building up what's around us and encouraging the young brothers and sisters to stay in the game. That's when God is going to open up those heavenly windows and pour those blessings out again, man. And I'm going to tell you.
I think some of that is what we have to also realize is that we're just talking about what we've seen. We're not saying everyone out there is doing it, but what we've seen and what we like to see different. And I think it's starting to change a little bit. It just doesn't get promoted like the negativity. Like we want to give flowers on this platform. You know, as long as we're going to be on this platform, we want to give flowers, but you know, the hating and jealousy got to stop, man. You got questions, just ask questions. Now, if a person doesn't want to answer, you can label how you want to label them, but at the end of the day, still pray for them. You know what I'm saying? Just still pray for them, because at the end of the day, some people, like I said, they either are going to be intimidated because they see you coming, or they don't want competition. It's either or. It's several reasons. I just named two of them. Like I said before, like earlier you had said on here, you know, people will give you a hard time. They always give you a hard time every time you do something. And it's like, yo, they can't have one idea. You done had 100 ideas on what to do and how to do it, and they can't figure out why. And it's like, you just said it. A dude came into your life and showed you, hey, don't wait on what's name. Figure out how to get your own money. This is how you get your own money. I remember when you was working at a job. You used to come to work every day with corned beef sandwiches and pop. You know, you would get, you know, people would be paying, you know, for the soda and the corned beef. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, there's an avenue. There is opportunity to cash in on certain things. You just have to just be calm, relax, and figure out what your niche is and see if it can be monetized. That's it. And some things aren't meant to be monetized. Some things it's just basically, you just go volunteering and be a helping hand somewhere. Hey, give somebody some advice. That advice can turn into something else that snowballs and gives you even greater riches. At the end of the day, bro, as long as I started making money, and I'm gonna end it like this. The minute I started working at Oakley, yes, I met a whole lot of people, even more black millionaires. But here's the thing: I'd rather spend my money on something that enhances my brother, that enhances a brand that's by someone that looks like me. Because God knows, if I could go out and make my own clothes, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I got a good. My best friend works for a branding company, and they're now making T-shirts. Mm-hmm. So every chance I get, I buy T-shirts from them. Not because I know them. That's the bonus. I know them, but to support them, and that's what we need to start doing. We need to. It's okay if you want a pair of Gucci, whatever. But sometimes it's okay to support the person in the family. Sometimes it's okay to support the homeboy down the street that's trying, and it looks like it's really good merchandise. When I was on my cruise, I wore a couple of their shirts. I mean, this shirt I got on right now, I got off eBay. I also wore this on the ship. But at the same time, we got to learn to support our own people and not be so... We're so hypercritical about our own people. How come we just can't support our own people? We didn't make them millionaires, so what? And you make a good product, we can make you a millionaire.
And that's really a good point too, man. Anyone, we and Karam been friends close to 20 years now. We started working together in the factory. He and I. Matter of fact, I'll never forget. Remember when I started? I was on the wheel line. You was coming in, I think, on a midnight shift at the time. You was like the youngest person that I ever knew to drive the high-low. So I thought that was something cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, this young brother out here driving a high-low. I want to learn how to do that. And me and you built the friendship from me asking you, how did you learn how to, drive high-low? And then I was playing some music on the wheel line one night. And you came over and introduced yourself to me. We've been damn near like best friends ever since. You know what I'm saying? We have always been the type of guys to help promote anybody that has a real hustle out there. For all of y'all business owners that want to be promoted, you can always inbox us, and we will definitely add your content to this particular show. We are always about helping the next person come up. I need y'all to like this show, share it on all of y'all pages for us. It is 9/29. Next week, we got some special guests coming. Some of the young ladies that I work with want to be a part of the show. They got some deep topics, man. I mean, some topics that had a lot of us this week in training, sitting back like, wow, God is really amazing. So next week, I need y'all to tap in at 8 o'clock. We're going to be right back here on the Man Cave. But if y'all got any businesses, if y'all are business owners, if y'all got any products, if y'all do nails, y'all sell clothes, even though I'm a caterer, I still promote. So if you have any type of thing that you want promoted on the show, feel free to tap into us. And we'll do the very best that we can do to help you succeed.
Exactly.
If y'all are in the eyelash extensions, I got a wonderful person that has an eyelash extension business. You can follow her page at Dolled Up Eyelash Extensions on Instagram as well as here on Facebook, and she'll be more than happy to accommodate all the ladies out there. Again, even with me, I'm in catering. I've been into catering since 2018. You can also follow my page on Instagram and on Facebook, Tasteful Sensations Catering, LLC, or you can inbox me on my personal Facebook page, and Anthony Thompson. I'll be more than happy to accommodate you for that. All of my prices are affordable. The food is A1, services par none. And if y'all are into the sneaker game, I got another young lady that sells gym shoes legally. Her name is... legally. Legally. You know what I'm saying? You can go and follow her page at Natasha Pierce on Facebook or I think she has another page called Canada Ice, and also she has a travel agency called Diamond Travels. You can follow that if you all are in need of planning any type of trip. She has some wonderful promotions to give out. I'll share her business information right there on the screen. It's called Prestige Diamond Travels. You can email her. Her email address is on the screen. I also have another young lady in the chat, Mancave Harris. She's the proud owner of Her Flair Cleaning LLC. You can reach out to her. She cleans businesses. She cleans homes. She cleans churches. So you can reach out to her, and she'll be more than happy to accommodate you on that. Also, if y'all are in need of a rental hall for, your children's parties, your family's parties, my little brother and sister, Derek Canty, and his fiance, Christina Marie, you can look them up, CMC on Facebook. They have a hall right here on the west side. You can rent it for $250 for, I think it's 5 hours. You just need to put half of that down, $125 down, to rent that entire hall for $250. Again, you can reach out to Derek Canty. Is for him and his fiance Christina Marie. They have that rental hall on the west side here in the great city of Detroit. You can reach out to them, and they'll be more than happy to accommodate you. And again, next week, tap in with us at 8 o'clock. We're going to be right back on here. But again, business owners, send me y'all information to my inbox, and we'll do the very best that we can to accommodate all. We want to start, having y'all, that y'all can see with the Diamond Travel, we can include y'all business information on the screen next week. If y'all have any emails, any type of contact information, send them to me so we can definitely accommodate y'all. Any final words, K-Dub?
Nah, man, just keep faith in God, man. Keep on keeping on, man. Nothing wrong with having dreams, having goals, and just seeing them through, bro. That's all you got to do. Stick to the plan. Like they say, stick to the script. Stick to the plan. And if your plan gets a little tarnished, make a new one. Also, like to say, reading is fundamental. I don't have the book with me right now, but I got done reading a book by Tim Grover called Winning. Pretty much gave me a brand new outlook on a lot of things. This is the same guy who trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Charles Barkley, a lot of professional athletes, as well as giving some mental stimulation to CEOs. He basically gives you great ideas as to how to have a winner's mentality and to win at all costs. And I'll share this little tidbit with you. If you want to win, you need to think of winning as an individual that you must catch and chase after. And when you catch it, it does the exact same thing again. It goes out again. It's your obligation to go after it and win and chase it. Those who do will, and those who don't, they just sit there and be in misery. Also, I'd like to shout out to a good company I know I've done business with, bought a lot of t-shirts from. It's called I Brand You. They are on Instagram. If you want, you can go on my page, King542 on Instagram, and look at some of my pictures. If it is available, if not, just do it. Try to join me or whatever, and I'll let you in. But they can make any t-shirt that you want. They have all type of merchandise. They just have a lot of things. Just look on there. I'll have more information next week.
Also, to any church or pastor that is actually watching this particular show, if you would like to increase your presence on social media via live stream, and you would like to have your church's live stream system updated, you can always reach out to me, and we will be more than happy to build you your own custom live streaming system. The system that we're actually streaming on tonight is a custom system. I can set up times where we can bring this particular system to you and do live demonstrations and give you the price that we're charging to fully build this system and have you basically have your own recording studio inside of your own church. I'm currently working with 2 churches in Ohio as we speak, over in Akron. I'm working with a church in Toledo, Of course, my home church, Mount Zion. I'm working with the church, Disciples of Christ on the west side of Detroit here. And also the church that I'm currently part of the media team for now is Christian Fellowship of Love Baptist Church out near the Detroit-Redford line. These are the churches that I have currently built streaming systems for, and I am in the process of building a new system for another great church here at Greater Shiloh Baptist Church, where Pastor Mark Gray is pastor and also moderator of the Michigan Missionary, or the Metropolitan Missionary Baptist District Association here in the great state of Michigan. I'm working with them as well, and I'll be more than happy to be able to assist you with getting your streaming up to par, so to speak. So you can always reach out to me via my inbox on Facebook, and be more than happy to accommodate you that way. Listen, y'all, it has really been real. It has been fun. I owe all of this knowledge that I gained from my media group that I participate in and been a part of since the year of 2020. The leader, and what I call the leader, is a friend, AJ Holmes. It's a For Me group, I don't forget, and I'm in this group and I forgot the whole name, but it's For Me. It's called the For Me Media Group on Facebook, and also you can tune in on Fridays at 10 o'clock a.m. and learn more details about live streaming from the same group on YouTube. Join me tomorrow, 10:30. I'll be live streaming both Mount Zion Baptist Church service as well as Christian Fellowship Love Baptist Church on Facebook and YouTube on tomorrow morning. Again, it has been real, y'all. I can't wait until next week. And thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for being a part of the Man Cave. See you when we see you. Peace.